Morning, dear students. Today we'll be seeing the basic, then for the CBSE oriented board exams, then we'll be seeing about JEE and NEET and also in any of the competitive exams.
So today our topic of discussion is torque. Torque is a force which causes an object to rotate about an axis. So before we are going in depth of torque, we need to know what is torque. So torque causes an angular acceleration. So when you consider force, it will cause an object to accelerate in a linear kinematics. Similarly, a torque is what it causes an angular acceleration. A torque needs a point to rotate on it. So the point in which the torque rotates, we call it an axis of rotation. The point where an object rotates is known as axis of rotation. In physics, we can call the torque which is having a tendency of a force to turn or to twist. So we'll just take a practical example of torque by means of a small paper. So you take a small piece of paper like this and just draw a line like this at the center. So once you finish this paper is actually plain paper which is lying straight to this blackboard. What you do is just hold one side of the paper and just lift the next side at this particular angle. So you can see at this particular point, if you draw a line straightly, you will see that there is an angle being created. That is the twist. You can get an angle. The angle can be changed, and this is what we call it as this angle. This particular point we call it as axis, and this turning from the this rotation which causes this object to rotate, we call it as torque. So this paper piece is a object, and the pen which is just making it to move, we call it as a force being given for it, and you give an angle here, you get an angle here from the original line. So this is what we call it as torque. So torque is a force which causes an object to rotate about an axis. So it makes the object to rotate upon its axis, and it's an angular. It causes an angular acceleration. And the point where the object rotates is known as axis of rotation. So torque can be classified into two types. One is static, another one is dynamic. So static torque as well as dynamic torque. Static torque does not produce an angular acceleration. So it does not produce any angular acceleration. That's what we call it as static torque. While as dynamic torque exhibits an angular acceleration. So let's see an example for the static torque. The bicycle, when it is being pedaled at constant speed, so there is no acceleration here, so it is being pedaled at a constant speed, so it exhibits a static torque. You can see in this bicycle there's the axis here and the wheel rotates around the axis, so a torque is being generated. So an angle has been created at all times. So it has been pedaled at a constant speed and there is no acceleration. So this what we call it as static torque. So static torque does not produce an angular acceleration. So it is always static, a constant. So another example is a person pushing through the doors. If the door is being closed and a person pushes, it needs a force to move this. So at a constant speed when he pushes, it moves about the axis around this area. So this is another static torque. When the door moves, there's an angle being created, and the door is in the same place at an axis and it rotates to a limit in the axis. On the other hand, when you come to the dynamic torque, you can see here there's a car which has to start and move. So when it starts, it will be having a particular speed, and it has to accelerate the speed to increase the speed. And when it accelerates, we call it as dynamic. So the speed varies at different levels. So this is what we call it as angular acceleration, and the wheel is rotating at the particular axis, and so it is called dynamic torque. So the car moves at a different accelerated speed, and it exhibits an angular acceleration, and this is what we call it as dynamic torque. Since the wheel has been constantly rotating in the particular axis at different accelerating speed. And another example for the dynamic torque is the screw. So when a person screws here, it keeps on rotating at the particular axis. When it keeps on rotating at a particular axis, when he increases the speed of rotation, the angular acceleration increases, so it rotates at a particular axis only, and this is what we call it as dynamic torque. So this is another example of dynamic torque. So torque is of two types. One is static, another one is dynamic. In static, it does not produce any angular acceleration, but whereas in dynamic, it exhibits an angular acceleration. And the torque, which moves an object by means of a force, and it rotates in a particular axis, and but that's what we call it as torque. And the point of which the object is rotating, we call it as axis of rotation. Torque is not a new concept. It's a concept which has been from the creation of the world itself by God. Now we will see how it's been during the creation itself. You can see the earth which is revolving around the axis. Around an axis, the earth keeps on revolving at a constant speed, and it rotates around the sun. It moves around the sun. When it moves around the sun, it is going on to a different speed, angular acceleration. But when it's when it's in the same point, it rotates at the constant speed at the axis, and that's what we call it a static torque. So you can see the word of God here.
Isaiah 40:22 says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers." Job 26:7 says, "He stretcheth out the north over the empty place, and hangeth the earth upon nothing."
Once you got a basic idea of the torque, then next we have to see how to calculate the torque. So let's see how we are going to calculate the torque. I have shown you before a practical examination of how the torque rotates. So you get an axis here when you fold this paper, and you get an angle here when you draw a straight line here. So this will now draw, and we'll check it out how to calculate the torque. Let's see this diagram. You have the length from point origin to the particular point, and from this axis the object rotates by means of a force F. So you get an angle theta. So you have a length here of one particular object, from where the particular object it has to be rotated from the axis. It's been lifted up, and that angle we calculate as theta. So torque we can calculate it as torque is equal to length into applied force. So this length is determined by the lever arm. So this is the lever arm, that is the object which is moving from this particular place. If you can imagine here, that's a wheel, means this center point of the wheel will be at this point, particular area, which is the axis, and then the wheel will be rotating like this, so that you can get an angle, and this angle is theta. We consider that angle is theta. From this we can calculate the torque. Torque is equal to tau is equal to F into R into sine theta. So you can get the force into the length of the lever arm and the angle theta. So we are calculating by means of sine theta. So tau is equal to F into R into sine theta. This is how we will calculate the torque. So when you take a wheel, the wheel will be rotating here at constant speed. So you know what is the force. You will know that the length of the wheel's spokes. When you find the spokes length and this force, how you are giving, how much you are giving for rotation, you can find out the angle. So when you get these three, you know what is the torque which is being applied there. So let's see some common symbols and units on torque. So the unit for the torque is Newton meter. The common symbol we use is tau, and the SI unit is Newton meter, and SI base unit is kilogram meter square second square, and its dimension is m L to the power 2 T to the power minus 2. So from other units, if you calculate, it is force pound feet. So when you see this units, we will be using SI unit Newton meter. In certain calculations, we might need this kilogram meter square per second square, and the dimension is very important. Mass into length square per time square. So these are some of the common symbols and units. So the unit of torque is Newton meter. Now I will be seeing about a very basic problem in order to what torque is obtained in the figure below. So you have a figure here where you have the spoke radius or length, we can call it, we have it as 5 meter. So this side also it's 5 meter. Just consider this as a small wheel which has an axis at this particular point. So when a force is applied, so this force is 8 Newton when it is applied. So we get an angle 30 degree. So when a 8 Newton force is applied, we get an angle 30 degree. So we are taking all this thing to consideration. So force is 8 Newton, R is 4 meter, and sine theta is equal to 30 degree. So already we have derived the formula for torque. Torque is equal to force into R into sine theta. So substituting values for this, we will get the torque. So 8 into 4 into sine theta is equal to 16 Newton meter. So the torque for this particular figure is 16 Newton meter. So I hope you might have understood the basic of torque. So now we will be moving to the next one. We need to know about the difference between the force and the torque. So force is what it causes an object to accelerate in linear kinematics. But torque is the ability of a force to produce a twist around an axis. So by force you can move anything from one place to the next place. But torque, it rotates in a particular axis. That's what is the difference between the force and the torque. So in a torque, a force has to be applied, and in which direction the force is being applied, it rotates about its own axis. So now we'll be seeing about the torque on a dipole in a uniform electric field. So torque on a dipole in an uniform electric field. So dipole indicates there are two poles. So it's called di. So two poles, and when you are using an electric field or electric charge, we call it as electric dipole. So here you can see that there's a minus q and plus q, and there's a distance between these two, which is d. So this is a electric dipole. So a pair of electric charges with an equal magnitude but having an opposite charges, which is separated by a distance d, is known as electric dipole, which is separated by a distance d, which is having the same equal magnitude both, and it's an electric charge, and that's what we call it as dipole, electric dipole. A pair of electric charges with an equal magnitude but having an opposite charge which is separated by a distance d is known as an electric dipole. So in an electric dipole there's a movement between these two charges, so that's what we call it as electric dipole moment. The product of the magnitude of these charges and the distance between them, we call it as electric dipole moment. So the product is P and the charge in total minus Q plus Q and the distance between them D. So this is what we call it as electrical dipole moment. So the electric dipole moment is a vector which having a defined direction from the negative to the charge to the positive charge. You can see here the charge will be from the negative to the positive charge, and that's what is the moment of the electric dipole. So when you consider the charges on the same line, these two charges, now if you are applying an constant electric field, the charge will be lifted up, so you get an angle, and this moment is what we call it as electric dipole moment. The charge both will be in the same place. When there's an electric field, it's been lifted up, so you get an angle, and that's what we call it as electric dipole moment, and this distance is differing as d. So electric dipole moment is defined as the product of the magnitude of these charges and the distance between them. Now I'll go for a derivation for the torque on the dipole in an uniform electric field. So consider the same diagram. Here you have a negative charge minus Q and a positive charge plus Q, and the length of this 2 is now 2a, is placed at the uniform electric field. You can see the lines, it's an uniform electric field, and the charge has deflected from this particular place to this particular place, positive charge, and that's what we get an angle theta. So from this we can calculate the dipole moment of the magnitude, that's P is equal to Q into 2a, P into 2a. This and this will be multiplied, we get the dipole moment. That is how much the particular charge has moved from this particular, from the origin to the next point. So the force exerted on positive Q by a field, electric field, is equal to plus Q into E. So the what is the force which is applied is charge into the electric field in this direction. Similarly, a force exerted on the negative charge by a field, E vector is equal to minus Q E vector. That is in this direction. It goes in this direction, previous one in this direction. Since we are mentioning by means of direction, we have to use vector. Therefore, the total force is equal to, you just add these two, plus Q E vector minus Q E vector is equal to 0. So the next total force will be 0. So now we can calculate the torque. You can see in this diagram, the electric dipole moment is in this angle. So we are drawing it in this angle. So you get an angle theta from the electric field. From the electric field line you are getting the angle theta. So you can calculate the torque by multiplying this and this. So torque is equal to P vector into E vector. So that this is being calculated by means of right hand screw rule. Right hand screw rule. So torque is equal to either force into perpendicular distance between the two forces. Torque is equal to either force into perpendicular distance between the two forces. So torque is equal to QE into 2A sin theta is equal to Q into 2A into E sin theta. So P is equal to Q into 2A. P is equal to Q into 2A. So torque is equal to PE sin theta. So torque is equal to PE sin theta. Since torque is perpendicular, if it's perpendicular, you can omit this sin 90. So torque is equal to PE into E. So in order to calculate this torque, you have to use this formula. Tau is equal to PE sin theta. So let's see some basic problems which will be useful for you for the board exams. The first problem is two charges, one plus 5 microcoulomb and another is minus 5 microcoulomb, are placed 1 millimeter apart. Calculate the dipole moment. Again I repeat, two charges, one plus 5 microcoulomb and another minus 5 microcoulomb are placed 1 millimeter apart. Calculate the dipole moment. So from this problem we are having Q is equal to plus microcoulomb and minus 5 microcoulomb. So we write it as Q 5 microcoulomb is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. And it's been separated by placed a distance of 1 millimeter. So 2A is equal to 1 millimeter is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 meter. So the dipole moment formula is P is equal to Q into 2A. Just we have seen now is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 10 to the power minus 3. Just substitute this value here, these two values here. You get an answer 5 into 10 to the power minus 9 centimeter. So the dipole moment is just 5 into 10 to the power minus 9 centimeter. An electric dipole when held at 30 degree with respect to a uniform electric field of 10 to the power 4 Newton Coulomb per experience a torque of 9 into 10 to the power minus 26 Newton meter. Calculate dipole moment of the dipole. So again I repeat, an electric dipole when held at 30 degree with respect to the uniform electric field of 10 to the power 4 Newton per coulomb experience a torque of 9 into 10 to the power minus 26 Newton meter. Calculate dipole moment of the dipole. So here it's given theta is equal to 30 degree from the sum. E is equal to 10 to the power 4 Newton per coulomb. R is equal to 9 into 10 to the power minus 26 Newton meter. So we have the formula tau is equal to P E sin theta. So you have the values theta here, you have the value E here. Also it's given the torque is 9 into 10 to the power minus 26 Newton meter. So you need to calculate only the dipole. So keep P on the left hand side and take the tau on the right hand side. You get a formula P is equal to tau divided by E sin theta. Substitute the value for tau, E and sin theta. 9 into 10 to the power minus 26 divided by 10 to the power 4 into sin 30 degree. You get it? Sin 30 degree is 1 by 2, it's 0.5. And when you solve this, you get an answer 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 29 centimeter. 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 29 centimeter. So this is the dipole moment. We'll again solve a very simple problem. The dimension of torque is with 4 options. m L to the power minus 2, m L to the power minus 1, t to the power minus 1, c m L to the power minus m L to the power 2, t to the power minus 2, d m L to the power 3, t to the power minus 3. Of course, we know the answer directly for this is C, but we will just solve it and find out how to get it. So our formula for the torque is F into 2A. So the dimension of the torque is equal to dimension of the force into dimension of distance. So dimension of the torque is equal to dimension of force into dimension of distance. So torque dimension and force dimension and dimension of distance, we have to write it. So force dimension is m L t to the power minus 2, and that of this A we have L. So when you multiply this, you get it m L to the power 2 t to the power minus 2. So the answer is C. So if you cannot find out any of the dimensions, you have to derive like this and you have to find it out. But it is better to keep in mind the basics for force, torque, etc. The dimensions. So the next problem is the instantaneous angular position of a point on a rotation wheel is given by the equation q of t is equal to 2 to the power 2 into t to the power 3 minus 6 into t to the power 2. The torque on the wheel becomes 0 at 4 options. A, t is equal to 0.5 seconds. B, t is equal to 0.25 seconds. C, t is equal to 2 seconds. D, t is equal to 1 second. So we have to calculate when will the torque become 0. At what time it's going to become 0. So torque is equal to 0. That's the one which we have been given. So angular acceleration is alpha is equal to d square theta divided by dt square. So the angular acceleration of the wheel is d square theta divided by dt square. But we have been given here q of t is equal to 2 into t to the power 3 minus 6t square. So we are writing here theta of t is equal to 2 into t to the power 3 minus 6 into t to the power 2. So when you derivate it, you get it d theta divided by dt is equal to 6t square minus 12t. Again, if you go for the second derivation, d square theta divided by dt is equal to 12t minus 12. So you get this angular momentum, and now this angular momentum is equal to 0 as per when will the torque becomes 0. So this when the angular momentum becomes 0, then 12t minus 12 is equal to 0. But when the total torque is 0, you get 12t minus 12 is equal to 0. So just bring this minus 12 to this side and 12t on this side, then solve it, you get t is equal to 1 second. So you get an answer t is equal to 1 second.
So just by seeing, you cannot score highly. So just work with me and solve the problems as well as the theoretical part. You just keep on understanding by again and again seeing the videos. Unless you understand, you keep on seeing the same video. And once you get an understanding of the particular title talk, then put it in a writing in a piece of paper and check it out. Both are same. And once you do that, you will never forget from your mind. So if you are interested, you can subscribe and share it. And thanks for watching. Thank you.